Hello, welcome to my channel. Before proceeding to study, please subscribe to my channel. Today, we will explore the fascinating world of high-performance computing. We'll dive into key concepts like collective communication, non-blocking point-to-point communication, virtual topologies. Let's get started. Slide 1. Collective communication in MPI. Let's start by understanding collective communication. Collective communication refers to those communication patterns in MPI where all processes in a group are involved simultaneously. Unlike point-to-point communication, which is between two processes, collective operations ensure group-wide interaction. These operations are essential when data needs to be shared, gathered, reduced, or synchronized across multiple processes. For example, if one process has a value that needs to be known to all others, we use MPI_bcast for broadcasting. Similarly, if we want to collect results from all processes, we use MPI_gather or MPI_reduce depending on the need. Collective communication also includes synchronization operations like MPI_barrier, ensuring that all processes wait at a point before moving ahead. This is important to maintain consistency. Thus, collective communication makes parallel programs simpler, avoiding repetitive individual communications, and ensures efficient data distribution and collection. Slide 2. Types of collective communication operations. Now let's discuss the types of collective operations in MPI. 1. MPI_bcast is used to broadcast a value from one process to all others. For instance, sending a common threshold value to all processes. Point 2. MPI_scatter splits data and sends different parts to different processes. This is useful when we divide work, like breaking a large dataset for processing. 3. MPI_gather collects data from all processes into one. For example, collecting computed partial results. Point 4. MPI_algather goes a step further. It gathers data from everyone and sends it back to everyone, ensuring all processes get full data. 5. MPI_reduce combines data using operations like sum, max, and sends the result to one process. Suppose every process calculates a partial sum. MPI_reduce combines these into a total sum. Point 6. MPI_alreduce is similar but shares the final result with everyone. 7. MPI_barrier ensures synchronization. All processes must reach this point before moving on. Point 8. MPI_reduce_scatter first reduces data and then scatters parts of the reduced result to processes. 9. MPI_scan performs a prefix sum operation, where each process gets a partial cumulative result. These operations make data movement and computation efficient and organized across processes. Slide 3. Non-blocking point-to-point communication. Next, let's talk about non-blocking point-to-point communication. In MPI, non-blocking means a process starts a send-a-receive operation but does not wait for it to finish. Instead, it continues its work and checks later if the communication is done. This is done using MPI_isend for sending and MPI_ireceive for receiving. But since these do not wait, we need MPI_wait or MPI_test to confirm if the operation completed properly. The advantage is that we can perform computation and communication simultaneously. For example, while waiting for data to be transferred, a process can calculate something else. This method also avoids deadlocks because processes don't wait indefinitely for others to respond. However, managing non-blocking communication requires careful handling, making it slightly complex but powerful for performance. Slide 4. Advantages and disadvantages of non-blocking communication. Let me explain the advantages and disadvantages clearly. Advantages. 1. Overlaps communication and computation, saving time. 2. Avoids deadlocks since processors don't wait immediately. Point 3. Useful when transferring large data sets, allowing work to proceed in parallel. 4. Boosts parallelism and makes better use of resources. Point 5. Allows multiple communications to start at once, increasing efficiency. 6. Suitable for pipelined computations and continuous data flows. Point 7. Enables flexible communication patterns, not possible with blocking calls. 8. Reduces unnecessary waiting times, making processes independent. Point 9. Improves network and processor utilization. Disadvantages. 1. More complex coding than blocking communication. Point 2. Needs explicit synchronization to avoid errors. 3. Harder to debug and test for correctness. Point 4. Risk of resource mismanagement if completions are ignored. 5. Requires careful buffer management for sending, receiving data. Point 6. Difficult for beginners due to increased complexity. 7. Needs extra steps to ensure completion of communication. Point 8. May require explicit error handling. 9. Managing multiple non-blocking calls may increase overhead if not optimized. In summary, non-blocking communication offers performance benefits but needs careful and professional programming. Slide 5. Virtual topologies in MPI. Moving on to virtual topologies in MPI. A virtual topology is a logical arrangement of processes, representing how they should communicate, regardless of their physical placement on hardware. Why is this needed? Because some problems, like matrix computations, are best solved when processes are arranged in specific patterns like grids, rings, or graphs. MPI provides tools for this. MPI_cart_create to make a Cartesian grid topology great for 2D, 3D problems. MPI_graph_create to define custom graph-based communication patterns. For example, if we are solving a problem that naturally maps onto a grid, we can create a grid topology that lets each process easily communicate with its neighbor processes. Virtual topologies help in optimizing communication paths, reducing complexity in neighbor communication, matching logical process layout to the problem domain for better performance. Thus, virtual topologies bring structure and efficiency to distributed applications. Slide 6. Differences between collective communication, non-blocking communication, and virtual topologies. 1. Collective communication. All processes participate together in data exchange. Automatic synchronization is built in. All processes start and end together. Simple and high level to use, suitable for common group tasks like broadcasting and reduction. Best for bulk operations where data needs to be shared or collected from all processes. Examples: MPI_bcast, MPI_reduce, MPI_gather. Low to medium complexity, easier to implement correctly. Suitable when every process needs to communicate with every other process. 2. Non-blocking communication. Communication occurs between specific pairs of processes, point to point. No automatic waiting processes can continue working while data is being transferred. Requires explicit synchronization using MPI_wait or MPI_test to check if communication is complete. Flexible and powerful for overlapping communication with computation. Examples: MPI_isend, MPI_ireceive. High complexity, as careful management is required to avoid errors or data races. Useful when performance needs to be maximized by avoiding idle times. 3. Virtual topologies. Logical arrangement of processes to match communication patterns, e.g., grid, ring. Helps structure communication based on the problem, optimizing performance. Does not handle data transfer itself, but defines how processes should be connected logically. Medium complexity requires understanding of both problem structure and MPI topology creation. Examples: MPI underscore cart underscore create, MPI underscore graph underscore create. Improves efficiency when problems have specific neighbor-based communications, like matrix operations. Best when structured communication patterns are needed for problem-specific layouts.